Inside your bedroom, we stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
That you're my best friend. You're my best friend.
Happy Tuesday. I just dropped Finn off at school. We were a little late. And it is Cowboy Day. So he is dressed as the most adorable little cowboy ever. Tonight is also the fall festival at his school. So they're throwing like a big event. There'll be food there. He gets to wear his Halloween costume if he wants. So we're going to dress up tonight. It'll be a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. Clearly, if you guys haven't already realized what the deal is, I'm very congested. I am fighting off a sinus infection. I am quite sure. It has been 3 weeks in a row of me being under the weather. This is the worst week by far. At least I sound the worst. So I'm really hoping that I can keep this away and it not get any worse this week, because there's so much going on. There's Halloween. There's just a lot of activities going on. So I'm really hoping to put it off. Something else I wanted to talk about that I try to talk about every time it comes up is I have been feeling really frustrated with my progress. I feel, honestly, it's because I feel like I should be making quicker progress. I have been having a bit of a pity party yet again, because it kind of dawned on me this week as I've been finishing off credentials to become an LPC, which is a therapist. There are a lot of hoops to jump through, and unfortunately, a friend of mine who also works at the same office with me, she just got under candidacy, which means that she can now practice as an LPC. There's a candidacy period where it's kind of like probationary. You have to complete so many hours before you can come off of that. And that is what she is in right now, because that's how you start. And she took all of her tests in August, and then nobody at the state board could approve her to start working despite her passing her tests until a couple weeks ago. And then the state insurances take so long to get approval that for the last 3 weeks, I think, for about 3 weeks, the only clients she could see were clients who were able to pay out of pocket, which is far and few in between, in case you are curious. And so she has been in our office since July trying to get through the system, and she had been completely finished. So I started to panic a little bit. Well, not so much panic, but yes, panic. I knew that there was a possibility, but I was really mad about it because I feel like I have done everything that the universe has told me I'm supposed to do in order to be successful in the things I set out to do. So I want to be the best author I can be. That was always plan A. So I went to school, got an English degree, even though I knew everyone kept telling me, what are you going to do with this degree? Are you going to go be a teacher? What are you going to do? And I said, no, I'm going to be an author. And then of course everyone said, well, good luck, because they don't make much money. But I wanted to be the best writer that I could be. So I went to school for it. And I'm glad I did, because I do feel very, very well prepared. I feel very skilled. And then I did end up being a teacher just because it was something to do with my time in a related field while I tried to become an author. So I did that. And then I figured out that what I really enjoyed the most was connecting with people, and school counseling became an avenue for me. So I got a master's in school counseling, and I love psychology. I always have. And because of that background, I feel like I'm even better than before at creating well-rounded characters and character development and making my people in my books feel real. And so I have a master's degree in that, it kind of just dawned on me this week that like I've educated myself. I'm constantly researching stuff. I've done all of the things people have said that you're supposed to do if you want to go out and be successful in a career. I feel just about as formally educated as I can be. I'm actually well over the credit hours for a master's degree because the LPC program is a postmaster's certification. And so the only other place I can go is to get a doctorate if I was to continue down this path that I have been pursuing forever and ever. And so this week I got so frustrated because there's that potential that I may have to wait on the state board to approve me up to like 4 or 5 months after I've done after I've checked all their boxes, just because they're so slow. And I'm still not where I want to be as an author, even though I have done all of this work to be the best that I can be. And it was just really frustrating because I don't know what else to do. I feel like it's strictly a marketing thing, and I don't know. My platform has always been based more around like relatability, transparency. I don't want to be one of those people who has those heavily curated Instagram feeds that only posts about the really, really high highs and celebrates all the good stuff and then never talks about like realistically how it is achievable. I don't want to be one of those people. Not that there's anything wrong with doing that. That's just not the way I want to connect with people. I want to connect with people who love the books that I write, who like reading, who love fantasy romance, all of that stuff. I want to connect with those people, but I want to connect with them in like through my truth, which is how I've gotten to be where I am. I don't want to pretend that I haven't obtained degrees to be the best that I have been. I don't want to pretend that I have, I don't want to pretend that I don't have a spouse who's been able to support us financially while I go through this LPC certification process. I don't want to pretend like I didn't have family members who bought my equipment for YouTube or who bought my software so that I could format my own books. I don't want to pretend like I didn't have family members who could pay for Photoshop and things. You know what I mean? I don't want to pretend like I've achieved what I have strictly from my own hard work. I know that I have some privilege behind it. And I like just the fact that I went to college and I have 2 degrees alone is a privilege because a lot of people cannot afford to do that, especially in the manner that I have. And so I want to be realistic about that. I want to show that truth because at least when I was starting as a little baby author, I didn't see that from other authors a lot of the time. When I was trying to figure out how other people were doing it, it took me a really, really long time to realize that some of them have things behind them that others do not. And that is why success happened the way it did for some of them. Some people got really lucky. Some people had the privilege behind them to get started a little earlier. And some people just worked really, really hard and it took them a while to get there. And that's also fine. But I don't want to be one of those people who doesn't show that. So yeah, I feel like I just needed to get it off my chest. I did a lot yesterday. I had it out with Alex, actually. I needed to get it off my chest. And so we chatted about it and I feel better. But man, it was just really weighing on me because I was so frustrated, and comparison is an ugly thing, my friends. So that is the truth of it. So what I'm doing this week to sort of combat that is I'm really leaning into my own work, the world that I'm building that I love. I'm diving into Trial of Flame and Wings. That is my plan today, is to sit down this afternoon and do a ton of writing for that book, probably out at a coffee shop before I pick up Finn. So I want to do that. And I'm also leaning heavily into planning for 2025. I'm leaning heavily into what is Amy Prokopis Publishing all about? What is the structure of this business, and what does it mean for me, and what do I want it to mean to others, and how do I want to showcase that? So I'm doing a lot of prepping and planning for 2025, like I just said, and yeah, so that's where I am. Like I said, I was running a little late with Finn, so I am definitely running later getting to work now. So I am going to leave you guys here. We will pick up at the Fall Fest tonight. I'm just gonna prop you guys up there while I get situated. It is so crazy windy in Oklahoma this week. Things are blowing around insanely. I am so glad that I went to the doctor yesterday and got allergy meds because I still don't feel great, but I cannot imagine what I would feel like today if I wasn't already on 2 doses of that allergy stuff that I got. Oh my goodness, I would feel horrible. So I decided to go and early vote today. Early voting opened up today, October 30th, which is Wednesday, in Oklahoma. And I am very, very glad I went because I got in line at like maybe 12:20 and it is now 2 o'clock. And I just got back to my car after getting through the line. So I'm really glad I went. If you haven't been to vote yet, go vote because it is super, super important. Even if you don't feel like your voice is heard, it is. So go vote and have your opinions known. So yeah, that is what I have done today. I really want to write. It's Wednesday. Today is actually Alex's last Wednesday at the church he works for. So last day doing all of that stuff, and then Wednesdays will be freed up and it'll just be us at home together, which is super, super nice. And then also we'll have Sundays off because he also goes Sunday, and so we'll have the whole week now. Well, not necessarily because his other job takes a lot of his evenings as well, but we won't have church job, so it'll just be, we'll get Wednesday and Sunday back, which is nice. So I am planning on writing a lot tonight, getting a bit done, and I do feel better. So updates from this past week, because you know it's been kind of a rough one for me. I expressed some of that yesterday when I talked with you guys. Yet again, another car conversation. So yes, it is only halfway into the week. I'm not getting everything I want done, but it's also a super busy week. Tomorrow's Halloween, so we'll go out with Finn. And pretty much it. So hopefully it will be a productive one tonight so that I feel a little better, because when I sit down to write, I feel a lot better. And after I was able to sit yesterday and get back to my draft of Trial and Flamin' Wings, I do feel much better. So yeah, for now it is 2:10. Finn gets out in a little bit. I didn't know how late I would be, so I had my mom run out to pick him up from pre-K. So she's picking him up. I'll meet her at home here in a little bit to pick Finn up. So I don't know what I'm gonna do in the meantime. I may just go park it somewhere and work just for a little bit before I go pick him up. We will see. I'm also gonna enjoy the last of my lunch because I scarfed that down before I went and jumped in line. So we will chat in a little bit. Maybe we'll get some productivity footage here in a sec. We are getting hailed on. Fun fact, because of the extremely high winds in Oklahoma right now, and because we had a cold front, I think it was a cold front, just some weather moved through, we are actually in a tornado watch. I believe it's tornado watch. We don't have to take shelter. We're not, like, sirens aren't going off and stuff. It's just an alert for those of you who don't live in the Midwest. It's just an alert that, hey, the weather's perfect for tornadoes. Be aware. So, it's just like so people can plan if they do have to take emergency action, which here means moving into like an interior room in your house, preferably underground if you have one. We have a tornado shelter in our garage. So there's little steps we can go down into a little like concrete building essentially under our garage, and we can take precautions. So Alex is at rehearsal, his final rehearsal, woo, 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 woo. And Finn and I and June are home. June is very nervous about this weather. She does not like it. She was just growling as it started hailing. It looks like the hail has already let up. So we had hail just long enough for me to grab my camera and show you guys. So hopefully the weather passes. We do need all of this rain in our area. It'll actually help with my allergies a ton also, because everything will settle. So here's to hoping that we still get the rain throughout the evening. It would be kind of nice if it would rain throughout the whole night. But I would prefer not to have the high winds and damaging hail. Thankfully, this hail was pretty itty bitty, so not gonna cause a huge amount of damage. Probably not. It was small enough that it's probably not even gonna cause damage to your car. So hopefully we don't get anything worse than that. So we'll see. It may be a cool and maybe rainy Halloween. All right, back to making dinner. I'm making stir fry, and yeah, so back to that. Happy Halloween! It is Thursday. I just got back from my morning at the counseling agency. I left a tad later than I typically do, so it is about 1:20 and I'm getting home. I think the plan for today is to maybe, I don't know, eat lunch here. I don't really know. I'm kind of up in the air if I want to stay at the house, because tomorrow is a PD day for teachers, and so school for kids is out. So Alex will be at work because he works at school, and I will have Finn at home. And so I kind of want to like spend the time with him. I also don't necessarily know that we'll get out, because Fridays usually, because I'm off from work, Fridays are usually the days that I typically go out somewhere and work out and about in the world. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that tomorrow, because I'll also have Finn with me. Honestly, it all kind of times really nicely, because my editor, just like 15 minutes ago, my editor sent me my edits for Frozen as Friends. So my hope is to start working on revisions today and to be done tomorrow by the end of the day. It's a lot easier to do that kind of work, like editing and such, than it is writing when I have Finn around like that. And so I think that I can do a bit of editing between things with him tomorrow, but I just can't guarantee that I'll be able to go out and sit like I normally do on Fridays. So I think because of that reason, I may do lunch here, get June situated. We have dinner with my parents tonight. And then after dinner, we're gonna do Halloween and trick or treat. So I think we're gonna take his costume with us. So I may go ahead and toss that in my car. And after I eat lunch here, then go out to the coffee shop and do edits in the coffee shop. Honestly, I mean, I told you guys a bit at the beginning of the week, but I'm feeling a little just like off kilter. I'm not feeling so like, I don't know, so anxious about my own progress anymore. I'm a little bit more past that. So I'm not quite like, I'm feeling better. I am feeling better, a little less anxious, but I just feel a little off. I feel a tad lonely of sorts. I feel, like when your likes and interests and opinions are so different than other people, and even though you really enjoy those people, or you you like being a part of the group, but you don't necessarily feel like the group. Does that make sense? That's a little bit how I have been feeling lately, and my anxious brain has always like receded when that's the case. So my first instinct is to pull away and to go do my own thing, be by myself. And honestly, that doesn't make me feel really any better. And so if I can just be out in public, not necessarily with other people, but around other people, I think it'll help with my productivity. And I also think it will help up my mood, especially because I may be in the house all of tomorrow. So that's the plan, is to do lunch, go out, and hopefully we can be productive and kind of get a mood boost at the same time. So, and then it's Halloween. Woo! So we get to trick or treat. I love Halloween. So I am super excited to take Finn. He is also super, super excited. It'll be a fun evening with the family. So let's go figure something out for lunch and then maybe hightail it to the coffee shop. Hello, it is release day. It's also Friday, November 1st, and today Finn is off from school because there are professional development things happening for teachers. So that means Alex is working and I'm at home with Finn doing release day things. My plan for today, I need to sit down and work more on the special project that is coming in 2025. That project I am doing test runs of on Patreon. In case you're curious, you can join my Patreon for just $5 a month. And through the month of November also, I am releasing all 24 early chapters. So the rough draft of Frozen as Friends, I am releasing it chapter by chapter in the month of November, all 24 of them. So November 1st through November 24, they're already scheduled out. If you join my Patreon, you will have a chapter a day of that book that you can read before it ever releases December 2nd, because that book is also on pre-order now. So what I'm waiting on right now, I'm waiting on Amazon to process the pre-order for Frozen as Friends, and then I'm gonna blast it everywhere. So if you race through Winter Witches, you will be able to go ahead and pre-order Frozen as Friends. So on December 2nd, it will be delivered automatically to your Kindle, ready to go for you. So lots of exciting things happening. Also, I got through a lot of my revisions, my edits for Frozen as Friends yesterday. I'm almost halfway into the book, and my hope is to finish the rest of the book today. So here in a little bit, I'm just kind of waiting for my hair to dry off a little bit more. I'm going to do that special project, and I'm going to work on some other things, I think, while I do that with Patreon members. And then this afternoon, and then probably into the evening, it is all revision, because I want to get ideally, I want Frozen as Friends to be finished editing today so that I can start with formatting and stuff. Bigger goal, or I guess like more realistically, I want to be done editing before the weekend ends so that I can start for sure with final revisions or final formatting stuff this next week, so that I can go ahead, get the cover finished up, and then order proof copies so I can double check that everything is good to go with this book. So all said and done, I am so far ahead with this project. All said and done, I should be able to have Frozen as Friends publication ready by the end of this next week. Well, I say the end of this next week. That's if the proof comes back perfect, then it will be done the end of this next week. But I want to ensure that I can get things done early. That way we have the entire month of November to continue writing Trial of Flame and Wings, because the other goal for November is to finish writing the rough draft of Trial of Flame and Wings. I also have character art for the cover that will be done by the end of November. So we are moving on to other bookish projects. So we're just cranking on ahead. And because I have so much going on, I think I probably will take most of December, maybe January, I don't know. One of the 2 months, I'm gonna take it a little easier and do a little bit less work, because there is an awful lot going on writing wise this season. I am super excited about it. I really am. However, I know that to avoid burnout and to keep myself fresh, I'm gonna need a break. So the winter time, we will have some kind of a break around the holidays.
That you're my best friend. You're my best friend. Thoughts in my head about my new best friend. Trail never ends. Can't we still pretend? Won't let us know.
Hi, hello, good morning. I am editing this week's vlog, and I'm realizing just how much of a holiday mashup it is. This last week was Halloween, so we did all the Halloween-y things, and then directly right after, in the same week, we released a Christmas book. So it's a little wild, and I am realizing it only because as I'm putting together the thumbnail for this video, I started to mix images from the week and realized there's Halloween and Christmas right next to each other, and it was a little strange. So trying to figure out how to best highlight everything from this week without it looking absolutely insane. Our weather around here has been absolutely insane, which has definitely contributed to all of my allergies. I sound horrible. I realized it, just how poor I sound, just how bad it sounds, when I was filming some stuff for the secret project that goes up on Patreon. Fun fact, I am doing a test run of all of that right now on Patreon, and then it will officially launch publicly in 2025. So Patreon is getting the first look at all of my mistakes and also how terrible I sound because of allergies. So, this weather has been nuts around here. Fun fact, we had a tornado in our state yesterday. Tornadoes are really common here in Oklahoma, but not normally in the fall. Usually that is like a March, April thing, sometimes May, that happens around here in Oklahoma. But we had one yesterday in, I think, the Oklahoma City area, so in a large area, and it affected a couple of my friends. It tore up their house a little bit. Thankfully, the house is still standing, but part of their roof caved in, and I think it totaled their car, or at least it did a lot of damage to their car, and their neighborhood looks crazy. It looks like a war zone through there. So I am very thankful that they are safe. I know that's going to be super stressful and annoying for them to deal with, because they also have already dealt with basically the same event not super long ago, just because of where they live. So if anyone else is from Oklahoma and you're watching this video, let me know below. Let me know that you're safe. Tell me what it looks like in your area, and let's connect. I know you probably feel the same way I do about this crazy weather this week. And so I'm hoping all of my fellow Okie friends are okay and doing well and getting the resources you need. Believe me, there are resources out there for stuff like this. So just do a little bit of looking if you don't know about them. And yeah, let me know if you know of any good ones also, so I can pass them on to my friends. Because like I said, it didn't do a ton of damage. It's also not a home that they own. I believe they're renting it. But if you know of anything that may be helpful, leave it below, and I'm happy to pass that on to people. I was late getting my monthly wrap-up self-care video up, so I just did that. to YouTube, so that is now live. I am going to edit this video and get it live. I'm also going to do something to deal with all this grossness. With all that weather that moved through while there were tornadoes out in my friend's area, in our area, it was really just heavy rain and flash flooding in our area. Thankfully, flash flooding didn't do too much around here that I know of. My backyard looked a little wonky for a while. It looked like a river back there. But with the weather moving through, that did help a tad with my allergies. But now it just feels kind of like gross and yucky out, you know, like after you get rain dumped on you, everything's just kind of wet and gross. So we will probably just be staying in today, and I'm going to use the day to do all my house stuff, the chores, get Fen situated. Thankfully he's feeling better because he's also been under the weather with the pretty much a lot of the same stuff I have. So I'm going to do all of those things. Thanks for watching, guys. If you are not a Patreon member, you should check it out below. It's just $5 a month. In the month of November, I am releasing a chapter a day of the rough draft of Frozen as Friends. So we are up to chapter 3 today. So you can read the early version of that, 1 chapter a day. I also have that special project I'm working on that is in a test run on Patreon right now. So that is only going to be on Patreon for now. Those episodes are exclusive to those Patreon members, and I have a lot more coming in 2025, so check that out if you're interested. Links down below with all of my social media and everything else as per usual. Yeah, so take care of yourself this week. Enjoy the week. Find something to celebrate. Stay safe if you live in an area like I do that has been having some wonky weather. And yes, that's pretty much it. Read books, be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!